to see out of him with this fast expansion would be something like a 6 or 7 gate, which we're not going to see till another 3 to 4 to 5 minutes. So Stephano, he's got some time here, and I think he is capitalizing every moment, even dropping down a third base. He's going into macro mode, Robin.
Yeah, he sure is. And it's okay to do this, especially when you see that a Protoss is expanded like this pretty early on. It allows you to get that third hatchery up, drone up like crazy, and just make sure to be very, very wary. Make sure you have some nice scouting information, some links sitting outside of the natural, have an overlord scouting into the main, just to get an idea of what your opponent is going for and when that timing attack is coming. And from there, you just drone up like a man. Just drone up like crazy, grab onto that early lead, and it's fine here, especially since the cross positions. It's going to be really hard for Tails to push across the map since his units are just so immobile and pretty darn slow. We do have that level 1 attack on the way for our Protoss player. And then, of course, looking over into the main of Stephano, just droning up, grabbing his 2 gases at once now. Going to be getting that speed out pretty early. Again, just delaying that speed so he can grab that third hatchery, just staying as much as he can on top of minerals, just resourcing those, just being pretty far ahead in that drone count. As we're going to see it start pulling ahead right now, it's 30-27, but right when this third finishes up and this queen injects finish up, he'll be having a nice lead. There it goes, jumping up 7, 34-30 now. And right now, we're looking pretty good for an early game, nothing too crazy.
Stephano is in such a beautiful position right now. Something I really want to highlight is that Stephano took that third hatchery before he even saw that his opponent had fast expanded. And, he only had just gotten those links down to the base. And if we look at Stephano's ZVZ, for instance, he arrives his drones right before hatcheries on every map. He does not allow his opponents to 15 hatch him by sending out a drone scout at the perfect time. And I'm wondering if he knew his opponent did a forge fast expand just because of the timing of the scout, because he waited until a forge.
If
he knows his scout timings that well, because he did a blind third hatch, and something, if you are getting 4-gated, you're done. You can't do something like that against a 4-gate. So I think he may have known the timing there just by the probe and known to drop a third hatchery and stuff. Knowing timings like that is incredibly valuable and is a huge indicator of having a really strong matchup in this field. So he's going to find this probe hiding in the top left-hand corner, but we still haven't seen exactly what direction Tails is intending to go yet.
Yeah, we sure haven't. We should be seeing it pretty soon. He does have the 3 gates plus a 4th down here at the natural. Cybernetics Core did just finish up Wargate Technology, so he'll start getting some units in, grabbing that 3rd gas and that 4th as well. So indicating that soon he'll be going up some kind of tech tree or getting out a nice number of gates. I'm thinking maybe we might be seeing Stargate, though, with that 3rd and 4th gate going up. Tails looking like he might put a little pressure here. Has a couple of sentries, a zealot, and a stalker in the mix. I think actually, is he going to go for a fast 3rd?
I think he is going for a fast 3rd. When we saw those gases go down at a fairly late time, and he's starting +1 armor now, which is a huge indicator that he wants to move into the late game. If you're going for some type of huge timing attack, you go for these +2 attacks. But going for the +1 attack and +1 army, he's trying to keep a nice balance on his units so that in the late game they'll be very strong. So just now getting his 3rd down, and as you said, he's probably going to move into some stronger tech. Maybe go towards that Protoss Death Ball with some Void Rays and Colossus, something that you really need 3 bases worth of gas to run off of. So I think we do see every intention from Tails to move this into the late game. But Stephano, as we're seeing, man, he's not hesitating to continue making workers up to 58 right now. 53 for Tails. He's right on his tail.
Yeah, he really is, as we do have that level 1 speed, the Glial reconstruction finishing up for our Zerg player, and of course that melee or that range attack level 1, so his roaches be just that much stronger. I like what Tails did there. He pushed across the map, grabbed that Zanaga, allowed a couple of lings to see that little bit of a push, and we saw 9 roaches in response to that instead of drones. So just little pushes like that prevent any drones from being created. Look, the rocks are being taken apart down here at the 3rd. Destructible debris are destructible, as we do actually have a gateway wall up, though. So they will have to break through that, and that will give Tails a few more moments to set up and be ready for this engagement. Gonna need some nice force fields at this, and pretty much a really strong push. So here we go, going straight for that 3rd gateway right away, as shields depleting so fast, as well as that health does bring the stalkers on in, and he's gonna go ahead and run on out. That's 1 gateway down, though. That's nice. You're cutting into production just a tad bit of Tails.
Absolutely. We do see a 4th going down for Stephano right now, and Robin, as you said, Tails poked out there and forced a ton of units out of Stephano, which is not what he wanted. If Stephano had known this 3rd base was going down, he would have preferred to drop this 4th a while ago.
Yeah.
He made a wave of 13 drones after he realized Tails wasn't actually going to be pressuring. And now Stephano is not nearly as ahead as he would like to be. And meanwhile, Tails starting to get his +2 attack upgrades, researching Blink, and I would not be surprised if if we see a robotics facility out of him, and maybe even some Stargates, as these gas are now going down at his third.
Yeah, Tails sneaking that robotics facility on us. We just had an observer pop out, going straight across that map, and then of course that blink about to finish up. So Tails looking pretty nice here. That level 2 attack on the way, as you just stated, plus that level 1 armor, going to make him just that much more deadly here against Stephanowho only has that +1 range. Although the second one is about to finish up, and he's getting some Hydras out. Still going to be a little scary, as we now have the robotics bay on the way, popping out those Colossi as soon as possible. Going to be super ready for that. Actually, you're going to have 2 robotics facilities, so he'll be pumping out a plethora of Colossi when those finish up. It's going to be nice, and that really benefits him from having that early third.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's going to be able to afford to do insane tech stuff like this. So, one of the things to highlight about Stephanobesides the fact that he's got another hatchery going down somewhere odd, is a macro hatch, his natural expansion. We already see him upgrading +1 attack here. And one of the things that I know that Stephano favors, that I don't know if he'll be doing it this game because he's getting the missile attacks, but right now, take a look at his army composition. He's got just a few Hydras in there. And one of the things that we see really great Zerg players do is they just sprinkle a few Hydras into their army. He's really ramping up the Hydralisks right now, but I think we'll see that that bleed out, maybe okay, he's going Roach, Ling, Hydra with some Corruptors, but he may have a few too many Hydralisks in here.
Really
against something like Colossi, yeah, they are extremely squishy. And if Tails is on his micro and targets these Hydralisks with his Colossi once they're done, but Stephano doesn't look like he wants to let that happen. He's going to push in here before any Colossi are actually on the field. Only 2 just about to spawn.
Yeah, I don't know. This timing might be a little bit late for him. I'm going to go and pop it in. Those Stalkers do blink back right away. And Stephano's actually going to have to pull away from here. The 2 Colossi did just pop out. I don't know where the other one went, but there was 2 that's popped out. Here we go, a nice little bit of a flank here. Some nice force fields, though, keeping the Hydras and Roaches on the top right side out of the way. But the Corruptors here doing a lot of damage, and we do see that first Colossi fall. A second one possibly again. Look at this, Stephano trying to break on through. Second Colossi does fall as well, and these Hydras, with no Colossi support, do so much damage. There is some mortal on a couple of Stalkers here, but it looks like it will be held off just barely. And he did a lot of damage there. Look at that, 182 to 109 supply. Stephano looking great.
Robin, Stephano has this gold expansion. He's got a macro hatch and his natural expand. He has so much income right now, 2,600 minerals to 2,100 of Stephano. He is going to be able to truly swarm Tails with units for the next few moments. And Tails is going to need immaculate micro and perfect force fields and able to hold off these waves that Stephano is going to throw at him for the next few minutes.
I really like what Tails is doing here, though, popping 2 Colossi at 2 Immortals out at a time. He's trying to mix it up a little bit, trying to keep Stephano off his game a tad bit by not allowing him to get too many Corruptors out, because if he gets too many Corruptors out, those Immortals are going to reign supreme on those Roaches that are on the ground. But here we go, another push as well, 200 right now, 147. We do have level 2 attack on the way forth. Those flying units, but not ready to go. Here we go, Corruptors getting into the mix first, going to be flying right over the Stalkers, going to throw that Corruption down, so it makes those Colossi just a tad bit weaker. 1 Colossi does fall, the Zealots are being killed in the top right corner. A second Colossi falls once again, the Corruptors doing their job, and it looks like the Hydras and the Roaches are going to be doing a lot of damage here. Sentries will be falling pretty soon. There we go, 2 just fall as well, and those Hydras again reigning supreme with that huge amount of DPS and that level 2 attack.
One of the things I think that we need to see Tails doing is actually targeting the Hydralisks. As you said, they have such insanely incredible DPS, but here's the thing. Stephano just killed the entire army of Tails. Everything. His whole composition was annihilated except for these 6 or 7 Stalkers. And now, Stephano, if he does another reinforcement, giant wave attack, I don't know if Tails can hold it off, man. He's lost so many units at this point.
Yeah, Stephano at the same time going to go ahead and switch for that hive, possibly get out Broodlords pretty soon. He's really good at switching to Broodlords in between these attacks. A 5th base taken in the top left corner. Stephano just looking great, slowly whittling down his opponent, not allowing him to micro up a nice little army, because again, that 200 army from the Protoss side is so darn scary. His 2 Immortals do just pop on out. 4 Tails. Again, just trying his best to get another army up, but look at this. Again, Stephano pushing, just so relentless with his attack. I gotta love this play from the Zerg player.
He's keeping the pressure on Tails to the point where Tails can't move out and take an expansion. Like, eventually, Tails is going to be mined out in his main, and then he'll be on 2 base. And Stephano, meanwhile, behind all this is expanding. He's got map control. He's got the dominance, getting a great concave right now on the army of Tails. But it looks like Tails is going to hold this one off with fair ease.
Yeah, definitely. Tails
He may have to go for a counterattack here, man.
Yeah, he really should. Tails did a way better job this time and decided, hey, look, you have so many Corruptors, you're always popping in a whole bunch, popping off my Colossi before they can even do too much damage in a battle. I'm just going to pop out on Immortals, and now those Corruptors become rendered useless. They can't really do anything, and now Stephano has a supply just floating around that can't do anything in any of these engagements. And those Roach Zealot combo really did a lot of damage against that Massling Roach style that he kept pushing with.
We see right now Tails just warped in the exact units that he needs. He needs more sentries because Stephano just made 60 speedlings in order to deal with those Immortals, along with some Hydras to back up for extra DPS. So Stephano trying to counter the unit comp that we're seeing right now with this very heavy Immortal composition. 7 Immortals in this army. Can you even believe that, Robin? 7 Immortals!
Oh my gosh, yeah, and plus with that level 3 doing 65 damage per Roach shot. Gosh, they are so darn strong. Looking at the upgrades for Stephano, he is 2-1 in favor of his attack. Here we go. Looks like we're getting ready for another engagement, getting the Lings in position where they can get us around. Here they go, running around. A couple of Immortals also surrounded. Hydras are doing a lot of damage as well, doing so much DPS. The Zealots actually can't even get to the action. They die so darn fast, and the Immortals are taking a lot of damage from the Hydras. Again, those Immortals really good against Roaches, but not so great against Hydras, but again, they're doing enough damage. They look like they will slowly get the push through. Burrowing all of his Hydra. Smart play from Stephano, realizing that Observer wasn't out there. I think he just sniped it actually with that Overseer. Tails going to get ready for a push, but he's going to have a flank available for him as these Hydras do unburrow and kill the reinforcements.
Now, as we are talking about, Robin, no further expansions yet out of Tails. He's really trying to grab one. You see this probe in the front lines of the battle, but there is creep here and not an Observer to be found. I don't even know if he can't drop a Nexus there. There's too much creep in the way. Meanwhile, Hydra is streaming in for Stephano, but Tails is going to rally Stephano back into his base, but Tails really needs to get an expansion down.
Yeah, he really does. As you said, trying to grab that gold, and at this point, Stephano's kind of scrambling around, trying to get enough units out to actually take on this composition, but Tails looking stronger and stronger. 148 to 151 supply now of MVP. Tails takes the lead for the first time in this game. Here we go, some Lings running on in though. They are pretty good against the Immortal Stalker combination here. The Hydras and some Roaches getting on the action. 2 Colossi on the way for Tails, and let's have a huge engagement here, but it looks like Stephano is going to be falling again. The supply is so darn even. The Stalkers do blink on top of those Hydras, and remember, a lot of that supply is of the Corruptors that have been floating around this whole entire game since there are no more Colossi.
Now Tails finally pulling ahead in supply for the first time in this series. Guys, we were talking about this being nail-bitingly close. We expect a 4-3 here, and I think we may see it, man, because Stephano has been held off here by Tails while Stephano had the gold, 4 bases and pouring in units, but Tails with the superior upgrades. Robin, he's got 3-1, but now Stephano about to wrap up his own +3 ranged attack. His own he's got +2 now on his Lings.
Yeah, that
he's
really
about to match
so
the
much.
upgrades of Tails, and I wonder if this will make the difference that he's needed for so long, but now the Colossi are joining the field, and there are only 3 Corruptors, Robin.
Yeah, he needs to be really, really careful here in this game. He's going to run up the ramp. I don't know if that was the best decision. A couple of force fields do go down, rendering some of those Roaches useless, and it looks like Tails here with the Colossi count going to do so much damage. Stephano trying to muster up her army, just quite can't do it. Kind of low on the minerals side of the field, as he is actually behind in probe counts, 76 to 72. Tails is going to hold in the middle of the map, grab that Zelnaga, get that 4th up, and then he'll go ahead and continue on this push. He just wants to make sure that he gets his 4th up, so he's just securing it, grabbing map control for a little bit until he's ready for the push. And it looks like he might be ready now. That Colossi raining down on those eggs. They will never be fertilized. They will never pop out, because they might even die before they have those units pop out. Poor Roaches, as yep, sure on do. Not fertilized at all.
So this is Stephano's one chance to catch up before Tails has finished this expansion, and he wasn't able to do too much. Now the gold expansion for Tails has finished. Now, this expansion doesn't have a lot of longevity to it. It's going to mine out pretty quickly, and he's going to need to move elsewhere. But I think with these significantly superior upgrades that we've seen from Tails, he's just now starting another layer of armor, though. But throughout this entire game, he's relied on those superior upgrades to carry him through this game. And always having the unit composition to counter his opponent. So we'll see how it's going to work for him now, because there are Corruptors on the way. He's going for Roach, Hydra, Infestor. Really going to help against this Protoss Death Ball, but I just don't know. This is a 200 max army moving into Stephano's base right now.
Yeah, it really is. Infestor runs in there, gets one fungal down before exploding into pieces. Some nice force field just holding those Roaches back. The reinforcements are being killed off in the bottom left corner, as we do have more Infestors running in the top right corner, just trying to grab some fungals on the Stalkers so they can't blink. Roaches doing a lot of damage. The Colossi do fall, though, and that's going to help out a lot as more Roaches are tanking whatever damage they can. The Hydra's killing whatever they can get a couple of those groove spikes on. 16 roaches, 5 Hydras on the way, but this push just looks so scary from Tails. He's ahead, 158 to 130 supply, a couple more Infestors on the high ground, getting down a Fungal. A Queen falls as well, and I don't know, this looks really bad, Gibbles.
Yeah, you know, if Stephano had just had, if somehow gotten those